I agree that Joe Biden had a pretty rough night last night. Anyone saying otherwise isn't being honest, and dishonesty is what they do, not us. For the record, Trump was abysmal, unless of course you are scoring on the volume of lies told or the number of policy questions ignored. I can recognize the reality of last night while also understanding that one debate does not a candidacy nor a presidency make. So here is what I'm going to focus on today and every single effing day from now until Election Day. Donald Trump is a convicted felon, business fraud, and adjudicated rapist who incited a deadly attack on our Capitol in an effort to subvert democracy and toss out the votes of more than 80 million Americans because he couldn't handle the fact that we rejected him. He's a sociopathic megalomaniac who has bragged about grabbing women by the pussy, mocked a disabled reporter, says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country, and refers to his adversaries as vermin. He intentionally and perpetually divides human beings into factions based upon their differences and then pits them against each other because it is in that hate-filled space where he can grab onto the kind of unchecked power he knows deep down he could never actually earn on the basis of his personal merit, of which he has none. He's a sexist, racist, homophobic xenophobe who doesn't give a flying fuck about anyone but himself. He has no regard for humanity, no use for decency, and he sure as shit has no allegiance to our democracy. He has said that he will be a dictator on day one, and he means it. He's not besties with murderous autocrats because they wear the same dress size. He likes them because he wants to be them. And if handed another 4 years, he will be them. The rights he's already stripped from us will look like child's play compared to what he would take from us if ever given the chance again. And maybe Joe Biden wasn't at the top of his game last night. Maybe we all had hope for a better performance. Maybe he wasn't perfect. But here's the thing. He didn't have to be. One night is not reflective of his last 4 years, and it is not indicative of his next 4 either. Joe Biden has stewarded this country competently and safely. He's gotten massively good things done for us, and he wants to do more. More rights, more freedom, more personal power in shaping our collective reality. And he is not interested in taking this democracy over the side of a cliff. We've had 4 years of him keeping us on solid ground, and we'd get 4 more years of him making sure the foundation is sound, the cracks repaired, the immediate threat to our democracy vanquished, if only for now, so that he can pass the torch that's still lit to the next generation. And in that race, we can duke it out over who we think is best. But the people decided on Joe, and they will choose someone new in 2028. But we gotta get to 2028 intact, or what we're gonna get is day one dictator and an autocratic future of Supreme Commander Trumps in line of succession for generations. So I'm not going to focus on one night. Instead, I'm going to focus on recalling the constant chaos that was the 4 years under Trump. I'm going to focus on the competency of the last 4 under Biden. And I'm going to do everything in my fucking power to make sure that the madman who golfed while refrigerator trucks piled up with the bodies of our fellow citizens, called our fallen heroes of war suckers and losers, and sent a rabid mob to hang our lawmakers never gets anywhere near the White House ever again. And I'm going to hit harder than I've ever hit in my life because I made a promise to my kids in 2016 that I would fight to right the wrong that was Donald Trump with every fiber of my being. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today, tomorrow, and every single day that passes while I live and breathe. I'm going to fight to keep him from holding power ever again. Biden is a decent man with a good heart who speaks slower than he once did, but he believes in the promise of America. Trump is a mean-spirited, pathological sexual predator and wannabe dictator who says we are a failing nation. I will always choose Joe. Every fucking time. This week's guest is Representative Jared Moskowitz. Jared Moskowitz is one of those people who fights for democracy and fights against MAGA and Donald Trump. And he is funny, he is engaging, he's good at social media. You guys like him, I know you do. I love him. He is the antidote to all of the darkness out there in the world right now. So I hope you enjoy. Welcome to the Are You Effing Kidding Me podcast, Congressman Jared Moskowitz. This is the meeting I'm so excited for. Welcome.
How's it going? How you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. I'm very excited to meet you screen to screen. First of all,
don't lift up the expectations.
Oh, no. It's fine. I'm about to drop a hammer because I want to say congratulations on your Panthers winning the Stanley Cup, but I don't really want to say it at the same time.
Well, you said it, and it's a fact. Thank you.
Oh, I'm very happy for Fred. Because I know that they've actually done incredible things as an organization for the Parkland families and survivors. So I was actually rooting for them, which sounds crazy because they beat my Rangers and that broke my heart. But for real, that a class act, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, that is over. We were playing Canada, so you have to be with the Panthers.
Yeah, even though they beat my team, which is they were the better team all season long. So it's the bitter pill to swallow.
You got to get over it. There's next season.
I don't get over it. No, I'm going to have to get over it. I'm a Rangers fan. This is what we do. But let's jump into the questions real quick.
Do you like the Knicks also? I mean, that's not been going great.
Well, I mean, the Knicks did better than they were expected to do. But as a Knicks fan, it's been a struggle. But as Rangers fans, we're used to it as well. So, Knicks, it's even longer. But it's more of a hockey fan than a basketball fan. But jumping right into the questions, which performance-enhancing energy drink are you on right now?
Well, I'm drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee. I'm not sponsored by them, so I'll cover it up. But I drink coffee. I don't do the Celsius. I know the Celsius is big. Everyone's drinking the Celsius.
Yeah, well, Joe Biden obviously can't do the.
No, that's cocaine. Joe Biden's cocaine. He's going old school. Yeah, just doing the cocaine or like a shot, like right into the neck, like right beforehand. Little steroids.
Adrenaline, straight adrenaline. Yeah.
Yeah, just straight adrenaline into the heart.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you've seen the guy when he's not hopped up on coke and adrenaline and steroids. He can't even ambulate, right? Like, I mean, he can't walk, can't talk, can't function.
I just like that Republicans figured out what they've done over the last couple of months, right? They've told everybody he's got dementia, he's lost, he wanders, he can't walk. All right. And then they realized, holy cow, we've lowered the debate standards so bad that we're going to lose. What do we got to do? We better pivot. So here's the pivot. Oh, Joe Biden's going to do so well, but he's on debate enhancing drugs, which I was here in high school. I didn't know those were a thing. We would have taken them.
Yeah.
But debate enhancing drugs. So to be clear to the American voter, if Joe Biden does well on Thursday, it's because of cocaine.
It's just, I mean, the fact that Trump was demanding a drug test, or that Ronnie Jackson, who was demoted by the Navy for all of his inappropriate behavior, who turned the White House into a pill mill for fentanyl and every other letter in the alphabet drug, were demanding a drug test from President Biden with projection on a level of 1 to 11, right?
Yeah, I know. The drug test before the debate of two 80-year-olds. By the way, if they have their medical marijuana card, which a lot of my constituents do in their age, I don't know how that drug test would go. But look, again, right, they told everyone before the State of the Union, right, Joe Biden's going to be terrible, he's going to be horrible. And then Joe Biden went out and crushed it. And then all of a sudden he must have napped. He must have taken a nap.
This debate is inherently rigged against Donald Trump because Joe Biden is going to come in fresh off of a nap.
Right. He's been in a log cabin, also known as Camp David, for the last 5 days preparing. This is not fair.
He's not a convicted felon. We cannot possibly compete on equal footing because Joe Biden is not a convicted felon.
Right. Well, that's what they've been doing in oversight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Donald Trump has half of the impeachments in American history. He's got 2, right, out of the 4. And, he's got 100% of the indictments, 100% of the indictments of any president in American history. So they were trying to figure out how to equal the score with Joe Biden. Failed miserably, of course. Again, want to say hi to my friend James Comer. But yeah, I mean, that's what they were trying to do. Is he's got a couple of dings against him on, plus 30 felony counts, now guilty on that, judgments against him and financial judgments against him in multiple cases, and again 2 impeachments. So
right, and it's the ultimate hypocrisy for them to be screaming about the weaponization of the federal government when they're the ones using our tax money and those committee hearings to do exactly that against Joe Biden.
Of course, listen to the latest one. Oh, here's the latest one, right? We've been hearing government is weaponized, or, Joe Biden and Merrick Garland, super criminal masterminds, or working with the DAs and all. It's, first of all, again, to any Republicans watching, right? You don't think Democrats know how to run the country, but somehow we're very amazing at coordinating all of this stuff. By the way, we're not. I can promise you, we're not this good. But yes, we're doing all of these things, coordinating all of this stuff, and as government is weaponized. Look what they're doing. And meanwhile, there's a Republican trying to lock up Merrick Garland and use the law that hasn't been used in 100 years called inherent, where they want to send the House Sergeant of Arms to go literally put the Attorney General in a cell in the Capitol. But right, it's just.
Yeah, and what's the latest that Mike Johnson has done something where it basically said, no, the January 6th committee is nonsense poo-poo, like, let Steve Bannon free. What's the latest thumb on the scale from the non-weaponization of government Speaker of the House?
I don't know. I mean, we wrote something to the Supreme Court that, Steve Bannon is just a wonderful man. And, maybe they'll get around to reading it. Who knows? But Steve Bannon's on his way to jail, I believe. And, no letter or amicus brief that Speaker Johnson writes to the Supreme Court is going to affect that.
And this is what they're doing with their time, with our tax money. And I want to know, because I know that
they've spent $20 million in the Joe Biden impeachment investigation in oversight. And I think, quite frankly, the $20 million, after we've looked at all this Joe Biden stuff, right? We had that, this accusation to the 1023 form that Joe Biden took $5 million up. That turned out to be Russian disinformation from a spy who's now in prison. Then they had this, this other guy that they were getting information from. He was a Chinese foreign agent, right? He was selling Iranian oil to the Libyans, right? This is who James Comer has been relying on. So, that whole thing went bust, but they spent $20 million doing that. And I think the only thing that we really got out of it that we can absolutely confirm is that Hunter Biden is indeed the son of Joe Biden. I think that's confirmed.
Yeah, and that's obviously crucial because Hunter Biden will never be president now. But I'm curious, though, in terms of actual accomplishments, because all of that nonsense, the $20 million, they basically just lit on fire. Do the American people understand that they haven't accomplished anything? Do they understand that you guys are the grown-ups in the room, that they're there talking about toaster ovens and impeaching, Biden's dog?
Fans, don't forget about the ceiling fans. We got to protect them.
Yes. Sorry, I forgot about ceiling fans, toilets, showers. I mean, but I know, because I'm a dork who pays attention to this stuff, but do the American people understand that they have gotten nothing, that they're one of the least productive Congresses in our history, nothing done? Is that getting through?
Yeah, we've passed like 60 bills or something like that when the average should be 400. I mean, they don't have to listen to Democrats. They just have to listen to Republicans. Andy Biggs, Chip Roy, 2 folks from the Freedom Caucus who have said least productive Congress in American history. Republicans have nothing to run on. Republicans haven't accomplished anything. The American people, but I got to be honest, I don't think the American people are paying attention because I think they've tuned out Congress. We're an entire sideshow at the moment. We're not effective. We got people like Marjorie Taylor Greene getting all the attention, right? She's going to remove a second speaker. They removed one speaker. That had never happened in American history. Now they want to remove a speaker, right? She can't even rename a post office here. Somehow she thought she would be able to remove a speaker, and then Democrats with Republicans slapped her down. This is what's going on in the 118th Congress. So I think everyone, quite frankly, knows the 118th Congress is like the Titanic. We're all on it together. The ship is going to, and we're just trying to figure out who's going to get off. And so we're all looking forward to the 119th Congress.
Yeah, amen, myself included. But I will say that while it's been a train wreck and a shit show and a chaos caucus, essentially, one of the things that has been entertaining anyway, thanks to you, is that some of you in particular, are giving them their crap back. You're going right back at them, punching back, going at them on social media, which, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, but you know that I've said you're very good at it, which you should be proud of. I'm sure you are. But that makes it different and entertaining. And instead of being like, when they go low, we just like, go high and don't say anything. You're engaging them on their level, but also still trying to get shit done and still being the grown up in the room.
Yeah. So what I've decided is, it's when they go low, we go high. No, we're not going to do that. When they go low, we're going to go medium low. Right. Like we're not going to go where they're at because they're trafficking in conspiracies and false information, but we're going to go like medium low.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think people like myself, Jasmine Crockett, Robert Garcia, Maxwell Frost, Dan Goldman, I think there's a number of us who are new to Congress who understand how social media and Donald Trump, quite frankly, has changed the game and the narrative. People aren't paying attention as much to deep policy arguments. I used to say during the Clinton-Trump election that, Hillary Clinton was selling plans and pie charts and graphs, and Donald Trump was selling blenders. Right. And everyone was like, yeah, I'll buy. And so we got to understand that that's how the nature of the game works. Now, you might not like the game, you can complain about it, but that is the game. Got to feed the beast. It's 24 hours all the time. You can't let vacuums. We're always like, oh, that thing's so crazy, we should, and that's been a mistake. Democrats have to respond. And so, yeah, look, if Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to talk about how, Hunter Biden is a pedophile, which he did in a hearing and held up pictures of Hunter Biden, yeah, then I'm going to hold up pictures of Donald Trump with an actual pedophile.
Right.
Right. I mean, I'm going to do those things. And it was funny because I made that poster and my staff was like, oh God, please don't use the poster of Jeffrey Epstein. Come on, it's like debasing Congress. I'm like, no, I'm not going to use that. I'm not just coming out with that poster. But yeah, if Marjorie goes there, right, I'm just going to show her she can't get away with it. Exactly. She can't get away with doing that without getting a response. So, oh, you said the word pedophile. Okay, here you go. Here it is, Marjorie. We're not going to deny our eyes. Here he is. Right. Donald Trump said Jeffrey liked them young. Well, how did Donald Trump know that? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think we are communicating differently. I think oversight has proven that. Jamie Raskin has been fantastic leading that committee for the Democrats. Yeah. And I do think that's been one of the differences. Obviously, we've had the facts on our side, which is always important. But I think we've communicated the facts differently. We've made it entertaining, which is important so that people can hear the truth. Yes. And so, yeah, I think you've seen a little shift in strategy on that, no doubt.
And as a person that's been, my perspective on how to go at them, I appreciate it so much because it's like a spoonful of sugar. When you give somebody a little snark or a little sass or a little humor, and you're really driving facts, but you're also dismantling lies, I think it's incredibly effective because people are engaging with it. They're not like, I can't hear.
Well, yeah, there's enough meanness up here, right? Like, I don't need to be mean and angry. Right. I don't know. It works, right? Right. But I do think sarcasm and snark, right? And making your points in look, that's why, late night TV works, The Daily Show, Dave Chappelle, SNL. That's why these things work. They take on these topics. They do it in a way that captures the audience. And I do think it works. You can take on politics. Right. And look, I think it's a way to disagree without being totally disagreeable, but to point out the ridiculousness of what they're doing up here.
Yeah, and not every politician needs to be out there getting clicks and getting kind of laughs and stuff.
I mean, look, the chairman called me a Smurf, right? I knew when he did it, I was like, oh yeah, James, talk dirty to me. Keep going. Keep going, James. Call me a Smurf, say Fraggle Rock. I don't care. I knew what he had done. Two things. One, he had given me gold. Yeah. And two, what he doesn't know about me is I have very thick skin. Mm-hmm. And so now if we're going to do this, I'm going to troll you till it's over, James. I'm going to be at your eulogy at some point, right? I'm going to be there, James. I'm going to be there whenever it happens. I don't want shit on him, but I'm going to be there. This is on now forever.
You're going to show up as Papa Smurf. Yeah, I mean, they don't have thick skin at all. In fact, we saw that with B6 and Jasmine Crockett going back at Marjorie Taylor Greene, and it was like...
I didn't know that, though. You know that when I got here and I saw how they dish it out, I didn't know that they couldn't take it. I actually did not know that until I got in the arena and saw, when I was giving it back, the people who dish it out on their side the most, cannot take it. There's a couple exceptions, right? But most of them, literally, thin skin, one layer.
Oh, yeah. It's classic bully syndrome. I mean, honestly, it's
Yeah,
like,
they're the snowflakes. It's interesting.
yeah, we've seen no less than 14,000 pictures of Marjorie Taylor Greene since the B6 moment because it's like, no, I'm not. I don't look, don't have a bad body. No offense. I mean, yes, offense, but
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not
Yeah.
going to take the high
She's
road on
pictures of her at a
Marjorie.
pool, picture of
Yeah.
her on an island, picture of her at the gym, pictures of her with like less clothes than we would ever want to see Marjorie Taylor Greene in. I know. I know.
No, she's definitely not triggered, and she certainly doesn't have thin skin. And Lauren Boebert, oh my God, don't even get me started on that. But in a serious turn, real quick,
You're
like in
not a
terms.
fan of Broadway? I'm a fan of Broadway.
Oh
I like
well, I
Broadway.
mean, I'll just say I'm not as hands on when I go see shows as Lauren, but she really.
Listen, I actually think the timing is perfect for her. Beetlejuice 2 is coming out at the end of the year. I'm very excited for Michael Keaton to re-roll. I think it's going to be awesome.
I think it's going to need an NC-17 rating if Lauren Boebert is in attendance, but that's fine. By the way, I have some inside tea on that whole thing, which is hysterical, but I can't share it publicly, or I will get in a lot of trouble. But I know someone who knows the bartender. Let's just say he's never the person I know has never seen that bartender's muddler in the quite the same way Lauren has. But that's another conversation for another day. Well, so what I do at the end of every podcast is a rapid fire random question round. Congressman, today we're going to do a word association game. If you're up for it, it's I'm going to say a name and then you're going to give me the first words or thoughts that pop into your head.
Sheep. Oh, sorry.
No, the question wasn't Donald Trump Jr. And the poor endangered sheep he got to shoot, but now it's not. Did you see the picture his dad posted of him?
I did. So manly.
This is
so
real.
Manly.
This is real. It's not parody. But okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. James Comer.
My friend.
Oh, much sweeter than I thought. Jamie Raskin.
Fiery.
Igor Shesterkin.
Igor Shesterkin. We beat him.
The GOAT, not the GOAT. It's the GOAT. Come on. The right answer was the GOAT. Dan Goldman.
Dan Gold.
Oh, I missed that. Say it again.
He's tall.
Tall.
For a Jew, I'm saying,
I've actually met him twice, I think. He's very tall.
He's very tall. Yeah, like I thought my people were tinier.
He looks kind of like the bad guy from like an 80s movie, like a John Hughes movie, but like
he could definitely be the bad guy in like a James Bond movie, no question about 100%.
Yeah. Right. Totally okay. Yeah. Lauren Boebert.
Lauren Boebert. Playful.
Sorry.
No, was that no good?
It's fine. No, it's good. I would have said hands on, but yeah, it's good. No. Joe Biden.
President.
Donald Trump.
Retired.
And this one has nothing to do with any of that's not name association. I just want to know what your favorite Will Ferrell movie is of all time.
Ooh.
See if it's different from mine.
Favorite Will Ferrell movie. Obviously, I think his best movie is Elf, but that's not my. Oh, come on! When the narwhal comes out of water, bye, buddy.
No, okay, I disagree, but that's okay.
So my favorite movie, though.
Yeah.
My favorite movie either has to be Step Brothers.
Same.
Okay. Or Talladega Nights.
Same. Exactly the same.
Okay. They're like those movies. There's just so much brilliance. You can't make these movies anymore. There's just so much brilliance in the writing of those movies. I mean, Step Brothers is, can I say Boats and Hoes? Can I say that?
Yes, you can say whatever you want.
Okay.
It's so much more room for activities. I mean, it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. And Talladega Nights too. Yeah, so good.
But Elf is a movie you could watch 10 times with your family. Like, and he's very good. He is very good in Elf.
He is very good. And Bob Newhart is very, very good in Elf. But yeah, but it's not my favorite. And when I first saw it, I hated it. Saw it in the movies, hated it.
Yeah, but that has stood the test of time. Like my kids are watching Elf. Like there'll be kids watching Elf 10, 15, 20 years from now where they won't be watching Talladega Nights. I think Elf really, like, that's going to be like that, like the Home Alone kind of movie that people just kind of watch forever. But no, it's not my favorite, but I think that's probably his best work.
Yeah, Anchorman is up there too. But Anchorman is one that
Anchorman is right. Anchorman is right third. I'm a huge Anchorman fan.
Not Anchorman 2.
I love Anchorman.
Yeah.
A very quotable movie.
Oh yeah.
But Step Brothers and Talladega Nights.
Oh,
I love.
genius. Just genius. I mean, the whole baby Jesus. I'm gonna be all over you like a spider monkey. Like it's just
Well, when I got up here and I started doing interviews, I kept going like this, like the car ran real good. Like, put your hands down, buddy. Like, what do I do with my hands?
this is hysterical too. He's a freaking genius. But yeah, well, on that note, I know you got to go vote because there's this whole democracy thing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. But also, this is the ass kissing part, just so you know. I get like really goofy, but thank you also, honest to God, for what you're doing for democracy right now. Thank you for your advocacy on gun safety regulations. I know that that's near and dear to your heart, and I know how important it is, and it's my number one issue. So thank you for that. Thank you for speaking truthfully and emphatically and passionately about all of this and against those who are seeking to dismantle it. I really am serious right now when I say thank you very much. I am really profoundly grateful for you.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so
the
much.
opportunity.
Yeah, this was super fun. Okay, well, that concludes this episode of the Are You Effing Kidding Me podcast. Again, my thanks to Congressman Jared Moskowitz, who is a Panthers fan, and that's sad, but it's fine.
You'll get over it.
Yeah, well, I'll get on. It's fine. You took the Stanley Cup in the Atlantic Ocean, which is kind of epic, but I wanted to do that. I was at the ticker tape parade in '94, which is the same day as my birthday and the O.J. Simpson chase.
It wanted to swim.
It wanted
Nothing
to
wrong with
swim.
that.
I mean, it's Canadian. I didn't know that it knew how to swim. Maybe it's not Canadian. Is it Canadian? I don't know if it's Canadian. Maybe it's not Canadian. But this is a question to ponder for another day. Thank you so much, Congressman. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. See you guys next week.